Hi, hello. Welcome in. I'm just waiting for some people to file in. Yeah. So when you come up with any questions before 5:15. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we get started, I want to let you know that this program is being recorded and will be available on the Dyckman Farmhouse Museum website and YouTube page after this presentation. My name is Natalia Mercedes Rodriguez. Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. Sorry about that. My name is Natalia Mercedes Rodriguez, and I am the Digital Content and Programs Coordinator at Dyckman Farmhouse Museum. I want to thank you all so much for joining us virtually and in person at the Inwood Library for the second Talking About Race Matters lecture this year. Talking About Race Matters is a free biannual lecture series where scholars and community leaders share their groundbreaking work on cultural history, racial identity, and social justice. Each Talking About Race Matters lecture series brings together two lectures centered around one theme. This March, both lectures will explore the cultural and political contributions of Black women musicians in America. Today, I am honored to introduce you all to the second Talking About Race Matters speaker of 2026, Dr. Daphne A. Brooks. Dr. Daphne A. Brooks is William R. Keenan Jr., Professor of Black Studies, American Studies, Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies, and Music at Yale University. She is the author of Bodies in Dissent, Spectacular Performances of Race and Freedom from 1850 to 1910, and Liner Notes for the Revolution, The Intellectual Life of Black Feminist Sound. Her writing has appeared in the New York Times, The Nation, The Guardian, Pitchfork, and others. She is the editor of a forthcoming anthology of essays culled from Black Star Rising and The Purple Rain, celebrating the legacies of David Bowie and Prince, an international 3-day conference and concert, which she also curated. Today, Dr. Brooks will be presenting Going to the Territory, History, Memory, and the Politics of Place in Beyonce's Lemonade 10 Years Later. This talk will explore the enduring significance of Beyonce's path-breaking 2016 album, Lemonade, as this year marks the 10th anniversary of its release. Through an examination of New Orleans culture and Lemonade's formidable meditations on the afterlives of slavery, Dr. Brooks will showcase the lasting impact of such an instant pop music classic and cultural phenomenon. During the lecture, if you have any questions for the speaker, virtual attendees may use the Q&A function on Zoom, and in-person attendees may hand their index cards to me by 5:15 p.m. Selected questions from both the Zoom and community livestream will be answered after the presentation. I want to also take a moment to sincerely thank our sponsors for this lecture series, the New York State Council of the Arts, with the support of the Office of the Governor and the New York State Legislature, as well as the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council. Now, without further ado, after that mouthful, join me in welcoming Dr. Daphne A. Brooks.
Well, thank you so much, Natalia, and thank you to the Dyckman Farmhouse Museum community, everybody there, everybody virtually who's tuned in for this event. It means a lot to us to be able to, here at Yale, and I know in the Academy, to be able to share our work with the community, and especially in this time and place. So thank you for that. This is a talk that is called from the epilogue of my last book, Liner Notes for the Revolution, The Intellectual Life of Black Feminist Sound. And I'm very happy to be sharing it, to be able to share it with you all today. And so, oh, actually, one other thing I need to remember for tech purposes, share that sound. Okay, so let's get started and let's write liner notes for Beyonce, that queen of 21st century sonic queens, that sphinx of a global superstar, she of the wondrously crafted, artfully curated dioramic fantasia, multimedia events. Oh, she of the I don't do interviews, I'll write it myself. She who speaketh not to the press, who learned much, though, from her sonic sister foremothers about the reasons for being wary of the press, and that's Aretha Franklin included right here. She is the kind of artist who, some years ago now, savvily took hold of the power and the magnetism of her own aura, ringing it for newly felt truths and purposes tied to social and political desire, thus inaugurating a new era of protest popular music, which has, as I'm sure many of you recall, reached a feverish pitch in the cataclysmic year of 2016 when she and her baby sis dropped two hand grenades of sound and vision on the cultural universe, the likes of which had never been seen or heard before in pop. So Beyonce, and for that matter, her sibling Solange, Beyonce deserves the kinds of liner notes for her unprecedented career that can document the intricacies of her aesthetic craft, trace and contextualize the import of her visionary sonic experimentations, announce the game-changing relevance of her artistic ambition, and draw you into the genius of her ongoing, ever-changing culture-making strategies of performance. If our girl from H-Town is forever tight-lipped about the details of her repertoire, refusing to submit to the pressures and protocols of a media machine that all too rarely took Black women musicians seriously as the ferociously brilliant artists that they always already were in the first place, if they were busy giving uh, Tay Tay and that blue-eyed soul crooner from Brixton and that British pop phenom, also from the UK, the Grammy of the Year for, or Grammy Album of the Year again and again and again, while putting the Knowles sisters in their niche Grammy corner, then somebody, everybody, all of us need to keep at work writing alongside her. We need to keep coming up with our own seriously engaged notes that honor and explore the depths of the sonic and visual archives that she continues to build for us. The liner notes genre is one that means much to me for a multiplicity of reasons, which I discuss in my book, Liner Notes for the Revolution, The Intellectual Life of Black Feminist Sound. And if you're under the age of, let's say, 40, you'd be forgiven for not knowing what these sorts of notes actually are. Liner notes, as I've pointed out in my study, as well as in recent articles on this subject, liner notes emerged in full in the mid 1950s with the rise of the 33 and one-third disc as a form of advertising. They were printed on the sleeve, the very lining of the record, and transformed in the decades that followed into a showcase for sometimes masterful critical profiles of an artist's ambition, meditations on the occasion for the album, explorations of the making of the record, or essays on the vision of the work as a whole. And in the post-World War II golden age of jazz music criticism, figures like Nat Hentoff and Ralph Gleason, Leonard Feather, and Ira Gettler generated these prodigious bodies of notes that offer vivid takes on the modern jazz canon. The rise of, and I think we have an example of that, right? Or we have reminders of these really extraordinary masterpieces and the jazz canon that had their notes that accompanied them. And with the rise of rock music criticism, it produced its own class of writers, the crossover figures like Ralph Gleason, who is a founder of Rolling Stone magazine, and Greil Marcus and Robert Christgau and Lester Bangs, who wrote notes that captured the intensity and the convictions of their trademark prose. But in the 60s and the 70s, also saw artists themselves like Coltrane, like Sun Ra, who we see here his own notes, Bob Dylan, Frank Zappa. These artists were writing about or alongside of their own releases and dropping these so-called Easter eggs here and there for their most obsessive fans in these notes. And you can almost count on your fingers the number of major Black women musicians who, in the heyday of the liner notes era, received this kind of high pop music canon writerly love, or who had the resources and the opportunity to write notes for themselves. In liner notes, I tell the story of women who've been overlooked or underappreciated, misread, sometimes lazily mythologized, underestimated, sometimes entirely disregarded, and above all else, perpetually under-theorized by generations of critics for much of the last 100 years. I have some things to say about the critics and tastemakers, collectors, and far too many scholars who've engaged in what is really a long game, one that involves oversimplifying, simplistically romanticizing, and at key moments rapturously, Cry Me a River sentimentalizing the complexities of Black women musicians' work. It is the problem of their hold on the narratives about Black women's sonic artistry that constitutes a significant portion of this book. But they aren't the stars of the book's main show. Rather, it's the remarkable sisters who've made and have been making and thinking and writing about Black women's music for over a century now. They're the ones who stand front and center in liner notes for the revolution, and they're the ones who have so fundamentally reshaped structures of feeling and expressive cultural forms in the popular domain since the dawn of the 20th century that one would be hard pressed to imagine, I argue, in American culture without Black women artists' influence on it. So, in many ways, this is a book that sets out to approximate the form and the feeling of liner notes for this history. And it pays particular attention to the women artists and thinkers who were looking out for and looking after and caring for and finding meaning and value in each other's sounds, the ones who were building the fullest and the most dazzling life worlds out of it. So this book ends by writing a coda that is itself a liner meditation on Queen Beyoncé's arguably one of her greatest works. We've seen a couple more since Lemonade, and one that will, a few more, I should say, one that will next month turn 10 years old and feels as urgent and necessary as ever from here in New Haven, Connecticut, where I sit. Um, to Minnesota and beyond. And the list of cities, the sites of emergency go on and on and on. It's a work for which 1,000 liner notes can, should, and in many ways, formally and informally, have already been written. But as we'll see, and as I hope I can make clear today, it's also Lemonade, its own archival, sonic, and visual set of notes, a kind of sonic liner notes on the history, our history that keeps repeating itself, as well as the story of how we might dream ourselves out of it. So let us travel with her and let us go way down low. That's where we're ultimately heading before coming up for air. And the implication is such because of the spiraling architecture that we just saw, the slow rolling, vertiginous crawl of the camera in Lemonade that hugs walls and creeps around corners. We get just a hint of the string-tinged, echoing trace of our reigning pop
He
empress
bathes me
self.
until I forget their names.
Move her down here. Self-defense
Ask
old
him to
Opry
look me in
anthem.
the eye
So
when
there's
I
a version
come
of this clip in which you can hear her track
home.
Daddy Lessons
Why do
that
you deny
inaugurates
yourself?
this initial scene that pulls us way down below. We're going into a subterranean space. You get these fading vocals that whisper to us that threats abound, that trouble lurks here. Blink and you miss it, but the transition from wide open, out on the range, horse riding, and Afro cowboy socials in this portion of Lemonade to, again, this stark, cold enclosure of a cement fortress parking structure is one of the pivotal moments in Beyonce Knowles' 2016 Black feminist opus, Lemonade, her New Orleans Reclamation Manifesto, as we might think of it, a work that, as the vast majority of pop fans good and well know now, has been told many, many, many times over this past decade with passion and mostly with great care by everyone from that obsessive Bayhive to critics and scholars across the globe. And, I would really place my money on a hunch that it's arguably now the most reviewed album of all time still. That may have changed a little bit, especially in the Taylor Swift era, which tagged on to this Beyonce era. But it is certainly one of the first to have its own kind of virtual audience globally, mounting extensive blog posts and think pieces that flourished on social media alongside formal press outlet analyses in the weeks and months following Lemonade's premiere on HBO on April 23rd, 2016. The majority of pundits have zeroed in on how much place matters in this epic work and the extent to which the Crescent City emerges as a key character, from the quotidian grandeur of marching bands strutting down the streets of the Algiers neighborhood, to the shots of Lake Pontchartrain, lush splendor, the sun-kissed sounds of Fontainebleau State Park, and the ludic energy of Bourbon Street. But the heart of Lemonade's cartography, as a number of critics make clear in readings of Beyonce's second visual album, her sixth solo effort in a career that's now spanning well over 2 decades, resides at the scene of the plantation, Tehran, Maidwood, and as well as the military Fort Macomb, which we see here, sites that remind us of that most famous of critic Saidiya Hartman's mantras that haunts and shapes our thinking, our feeling, and our scholarship about the conditions of the present. As Professor Hartman puts it quite famously, if slavery persists as an issue in the political life of Black America, it is not because of an antiquarian obsession with bygone days or the burden of a too long memory, but because Black lives are still imperiled and devalued by racial calculus and a political arithmetic that were entrenched centuries ago. This is the afterlife of slavery, skewed life chances, limited access to health and education, premature death, incarceration, and impoverishment, end quote. These critics remind us of the ways Knowles tarries, as historian Lakeisha Simmons puts it, at the site of monumental history in this project, and how she and her Black radical study ensemble of creatives on Lemonade, among them Black feminist director Melina Matsoukas, an experimental filmmaker, the great Khalil Joseph, who has an extraordinary film out as of last year, feature film, Black News, Terms and Conditions. These filmmaker collaborators are part of this larger project that Lemonade was enacting, drawing inspiration as well from the ways that the visual artist Carrie Mae Weems's places Carrie Mae Weems places her body on the ruins of Louisiana sugar plantations to become a witness to this past in her own work. Weems is a clear source of inspiration for Lemonade. And Beyonce, too, as Lakeisha Simmons points out, merges. I'm praying to catch you whispering. I'm praying to catch me. Past landscapes. I'm praying to catch you whispering. With the present, to center Black women within the narratives of the U.S. nation. Beyonce's sweeping and alluring pop masterpiece, which is dense with historical and cultural citations, molded into being by the artist and her team of collaborators, encourages us to see the monument of the sugar plantation anew here, quote unquote. So this insistence on reckoning with the location that matters in Lemonade is for sure built out of the grist of women of color critical thought and study, emerging over the past decade and a half, most notably in the work of scholars like Catherine McKittrick and Mary Pat Brady, both of whom illuminate the ways that aesthetics are the tools by which the historically marginalized might reoccupy, might redesign, might reframe sites of wounding and catastrophe, gross neglect and forgotten and undervalued loopholes of retreat. McKittrick
Even
has,
to
for
exist
instance,
in two
influentially
places
shown
at
us
once.
how the critic Edward Glissant's
And the
Poetics
tradition
of
of being in
Landscape
my blood.
allow Black
You
women,
come
as she
home
argues, quote
at
unquote,
3 a.m.
to
and
critique
lie
the
to me.
boundaries of transatlantic slavery,
What are you
rewrite
hiding?
national narratives, respatialize
The
feminism,
past
and develop
and the
new
future
pathways across
merge
traditional
to meet us
geographic
here.
arrangements. They also, she adds,
What luck.
they also offer
Never
several
fall in curse.
reconceptualizations of space and place, positioning Black women as geographic subjects who provide spatial clues as to how more humanly workable geographies might be imagined. And so we want to keep track of the ways that Beyonce is inhabiting space in Lemonade, how she's critiquing and speaking back to the history of Black women in spatial locations in the US. And before Professor McKittrick, there was the Chicana feminist scholar Mary Pat Brady, who made the contention that we should take seriously how, quote unquote, the imbrication, the overlapping of the temporal within the spatial illustrates that in spite of the long colonial, neo-colonial projects, seemingly successful abstraction of space, in spite of a long systemic game to convert people's land into geometric homogeneities and a quantitative set of ideas from that of vibrant human dwelling, in spite of the tenacity of capitalist expansion and state surveillance, this is still Professor Brady, there are nonetheless alternative conceptions of the spatial that challenge oppressive alignments of power and instead privilege revolutionary socialities. And so I'm holding this kind of break towards the beginning of Lemonade to encourage us to think about this kind of rupture in space, the fact that Beyonce leaps off of a building into what's seemingly concrete, but instead turns into the depths of an ocean below, that these kinds of breaking of spatial formations is a way in which we begin to sense the resistance of Lemonade to telling the same old story of our subjugation over and over again, to move us towards some other new kinds of spatial arrangements. This is the undergirding philosophy of Lemonade, that Black women activists, um, sorry, that Black women activists,
Beautiful.
mothers of the movement, we'll see in a moment here, and culture workers, musicians and dancers, athletes and actors, legendary chefs and Mardi Gras masqueraders. These are the people who might re-inhabit the ruins of our spurned history, might reclaim the earth and overrun the wilderness with our wildly sensual and sumptuous celebratory selves who emerge at the end of Lemonade and ultimately birth a new time and restorative new collectivities. But the journey to get to there, that requires in Lemonade, hold these images for a minute. The journey to get from the site of ruins to the place of rebirth and new collectivities takes a long time in this epic, right? And it takes a lot of movement. It
Beautiful.
requires roaming fields, bursting through floods, levitating on slick firewall roads, walking through flames, and, as we saw earlier, plunging to new depths.
I'm praying to catch a whisper.
To the bottoms of oceans of despair, beneath shipwrecks we might imagine that left bodies in the wake, as Christina Clark would put it. Even
tried to
before we hit
change.
rock bottom in the parking lot with her, Our Lady Knowles is on a subterranean exposition in Lemonade, one that is loaded with counter-historical meaning, taking us to the place where buried New World truths lie. Her plunge reminds us of Glissant's wisdom, yet again, how he calls out to us to heed the bottom of the sea, the sedimentary layers of traumas submerged. Early on, we see her falling, right, into this deep blue netherworld, her house that is not a home now capsized. Her resurrection yields waves of operatic wrath and multiple pop registers, as we know, giving context and meaning to the forgotten sisters. The phantoms made flesh once more from history and who are here to walk and sit amongst us until we might reckon with their beings, incorporate their paths into our ontological present. So think of Beyonce and Lemonade and Beyond as our sonic archivist. I like to. The one who banana dances to the beat of Josephine Baker, the one who does it Proud Mary style like Electric Tina Turner, the one who drops the stank funk like Betty Davis in a spy movie send up, the one who gives good glam as Supreme Lady D, the one who is our ride or die chick Etta James at Chess Records in the early 60s. She's someone who's long been interested in staging scenarios, paste the ideas of the scholar Diana Taylor, and engineering the mechanics of Yale scholar Joe Roach's ideas about the art of surrogation, meaning the phenomenon of performing in a way that bodies forth history, in order to yoke her own ambitions and aesthetic life worlds with those of her predecessors. So this Lemonade joint, though, it takes the scale of her vision of archiving the past to deeper and vaster territories, up, out, and beyond her own performed kind of effigy and forms of surrogation, to focus instead on a beloved city, an entire territory, a region.
Beautiful.
As the locus of our Black diasporic dreams, as well as our chronic New World sorrows, the capital of our twinned economy of grief and obstinate reinvention. Beyonce's lyrical fable offers to us a lemonade subterranean that is the repository of all that has been discarded by dominant culture and dominant regimes, yet remains with us at the very core of our everyday lives. It is the site of what I refer to in the book as what we might think of as the basement tapes of a Blackness born out of the fact of history's racial and gender and class brutalities. It is a work that releases the pent-up energy of Black folks' misbegotten value, that which is stored up in the sediment of our culture, and sends it back into the atmosphere. For as the late, great Richard Iden, scholar of political science and culture, insists to us, quote unquote, the excluded are never simply excluded, and their marginalization reflects and determines the shape, the texture, and boundaries of the dominant order and its associated privileged communities. So of the works, Lemonade's many gripping Black feminist statements that broke unprecedented ground in the pop music imaginary, statements about the specificity of Black women's historical injury, the intersections of mourning, of melancholia, of racial trauma as it manifests itself at the level of hetero intimacies, the quality and potentiality of reparative futures. The symbolism that intrigues me the most is that in which Yance appears underneath it all, and in the dankest and the most mundane of settings, compared with all of those bucolic vistas she walks, rides, and glides through across the span of the video. So here in the parking lot,
Who the fuck do you think I am? You ain't married to
3 tracks into her visual album, she rises from the back of an inoperable ride, draped in fur armor, rocking a crown of cornrows, hot with fury about micro as well as macro crimes, thefts, betrayals, dispersions, violations. In hindsight now, we know that this rage is about much more than domestic spats, along with the miles and miles of razor-sharp cultural criticism. Malcolm X, of course, tells us so when he declares in the soundbite that, yeah,
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
allegory is awash all over this text as it aims to convey the exponential magnitude of generations of dispossession and simultaneously choreographed scorched earth refusals of multifaceted subjugations. And from this place that is both symbolic and material, from this place that is the Ralph Ellisonian underground, if we remember his classic Invisible Man, rewritten here as Black feminist milestone, as Undercommon's appositionality, as Nina Simone style revolution, where the only way we can stand, in fact, is when you get your foot off our back, as Nina Simone once famously said. We see Beyonce battling catastrophes on 2 fronts. On sonic grounds, she wages this Game of Thrones war here with rock and roll, racial, and gender hierarchies. We can hear her tagging blues archivist guitar hero Jack White as her accomplice on this track. Don't Hurt Yourself. She digs into this kind of powder keg energy of a minimalist groove and seizes the purloined goods in legendary rock group Led Zeppelin's vault, because she's folding together drummer John Bonham's loping rhythm signature from the band's 1971 cover of When the Levee Breaks with bursts of fireball vocal distortion on Don't Hurt Yourself. This is an exercise in Black rock reappropriation as much it is a final warning for Jay-Z to get his shit in order, as we know. If Led Zepp guitarist Jimmy I Have Issues with Black Folks page, you can Google that, has often downplayed the significance of Kansas Joe McCoy and Memphis Minnie's 1921 original version of this song, When the Levee Breaks, which is the song that Led Zeppelin covers, the song that Beyonce then samples in Don't Hurt Yourself. Then we hear Beyonce and Jack White and fellow Coke producer Derek Dixie and fellow songwriter Winter Gordon recentering the lapsed and the long obscured origins of a song that actually chronicles mass Black displacement and destruction following the Great Mississippi Flood of 1927. Beyonce sings across the centuries, reconnecting Memphis Minnie and Joe McCoy to the sorrows of new millennium racialized eco and environmental distress, putting John Bonham's percussive drive to work from Led Zeppelin in the service of something else, something that honors Black history instead. This is cultural arm wrestling on Lemonade that we're hearing, the staging of an historical intervention with the ways in which rock and roll timelines notoriously tend to obscure the labors of Black folks, makers of this very musical form. So this is Yance, the warrior archivist, using an enclosed parking lot early in her epic as her omphalos, meaning her laboratory to dissect, confront, and lay waste to patriarchal abuses in the home, as well as pop music culture writ large. To get to the bottom of her basement theater truths, though, to hear the tapes that she is making in full subwoofer stereo. We have to stay with her. We have to travel with her to the halfway point in Lemonade, to that moment to which I alluded earlier, where we hit the bends circling downward. So this is the final descent. And soon enough, in the glorious denouement, we'll gather together above ground,
The nail technician pushes my cuticles
having
back.
reached the end of the search for our mother's
Turns
verdant
my
gardens, finally ready to harvest new
Stretches the
fruit and
skin
sing
on my
redemption
palm.
songs out in the woods,
I see your daughter.
to the place where, to escape this place where governmental neglect conspired with legacies of disenfranchisement to yield false forms of shelter and institutional as well as intimate forms of violence during the height of the Katrina disaster. So we aren't in the garden yet. We are in the New Orleans Superdome. And as my Tulane University colleague historian, public humanist Andy Horowitz makes clear in answer to my question about the chaos of that place, what do we do with the chaos of that place that was the Superdome in the wake of Hurricane Katrina? Professor Horowitz had this response. What do we do with the chaos of that space? Oh, hold on. Yeah. Quote, sorry. Let's move back actually. If you mean the people, quote unquote, raping babies variety, then that didn't happen at all, says Professor Horowitz, despite the New Orleans police chief saying so on Oprah at the time. Nobody was murdered inside the Superdome. According to the Louisiana National Guard, 6 people died, 4 of nature causes, 1 OD'd, and 1 person committed suicide, and 4 bodies were recovered outside the Superdome. But none of these were classified as murders either, Dr. Horowitz continues. But, if by chaos you mean well over 10,000 people there with no electricity, no flush toilets, and no means of getting out of town, then yes, there was abject chaos, end quote. So Lemonade invites us to go not just into the Superdome, but significantly, in my mind, beneath it. Yes, research tells us that these scenes in the garage were likely shot 3 minutes away at Royal Parking Garage in the 800 block of Carondelet, to put a finer point in it. But the suggestion, by virtue of editing and clip montage, is that the rage from below that courses through this saga emanates from under the field, under the stadium, where some local lore holds that a cemetery once sat. That's a hotly contested myth, though. Beyonce's epic suggests to us that if we're going to reorient our bodies and spirits towards futures rooted in Nina Simone's Silken Soul, of which you see an image of towards the end of Lemonade, if we're going to reorient ourselves in Nina's type of freedom dreams, we have to return to this place to confront and, if not expel, at least know better the nature of our anguish. She lays herself across the 50-yard line while those Black feminist angels of history, which we keep seeing, and which I'll pull up one more time. I call them Black feminist angels of history, watch over her and look over the scene in the Superdome. Her stillness, her sadness is awake for that which we must never forget, that which Horowitz makes plain in his brilliant book on Katrina. And I quote him here at length, as a way to archive the endless sorrow of that which we must not leave behind. Licensed to kill and believing that savage gangs had besieged the city, New Orleans police officers shot at least 9 people during the week after the storm. On September 1st, a police officer shot Keenan McCann as he helped to distribute water to flood victims from a Kentwood Springs bottled water truck on the Claiborne Avenue overpass. Police say McCann brandished a pistol. No pistol was recovered from the scene. On September 2nd, A police officer shot and killed Henry Glover, a 31-year-old father of four. Then another officer set fire to Glover's body and dumped it over a levee. On September 3rd, a police officer shot Danny Brumfield in the back outside of the convention center, where the 45-year-old man had taken refuge with his family after their home in the Ninth Ward flooded. The officer who shot him said Brumfield was attempting to stab him with a pair of scissors. Members of Brumfield's family who witnessed the shooting said he was trying to flag down the officer for help. No scissors were recovered from the scene. On September 4th, police responded to reports of an officer shot near the Danziger Bridge over the Industrial Canal. When they arrived, the police officers shot 6 unarmed people, and 2 of them died. James Brissett, a 17-year-old boy, and Ronald Madison, a 40-year-old man who was mentally disabled. Madison was shot 5 times in the back. No weapons were recovered from the scene. All of these people were African American. When some people nearby got in a scuffle, Angela Perkins said a police officer at the convention center forced her to her knees and pointed a gun at her too. Made us look like animals, she said, like we deserved whatever was happening to us, end quote. And so here we are with her here, beneath this place that is the ground zero of this carnage. The hints are everywhere in the video, fleeting images of a brick stairwell up and then down. Recall those dancing sisters in flowing garments and iridescent and black light, moving together in Alvin Ailey-esque revelations rituals, swaying and undulating and exercising something together in the parking lot. Think too of those other warriors striking battle-ready moves in the locker room and bathroom stalls and hallways towards the end of Lemonade when the credits roll. Beyonce's epic hinges on passing through this crucible, re-inhabiting this space, and transforming it into a different iteration of the basement theater that legendary rock critic Greil Marcus designs for his boys in the band. The place where, as he puts it in his work on Dylan's legendary album of The Basement, he writes, "Nothing was exactly clear and nothing was obviously wide open. But like the band, she knows and shows us how. There were doors all around the room. All you had to do was find the key. Each time a new key opened a door," Marcus continues. America opened up into both the future and the past. There is no nostalgia in the Basement recordings. The mechanics of time and the music are not comforting. In the Basement, the past is alive to the degree that the future is open, when one can believe that the country remains unfinished, even unmade. So watch her. Watch her then, and she rides this revolution with her sisters, some of us who passed on. Watch her as they ride together out of that shadowy New Orleans garage and into the center of our consciousness. Her Lemonade kicks down the door between black pasts and black features, pulling us towards the light and willing us to come up for air.
Keep on running, cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
Repopulate the trees, repopulate the earth. We come up for air and we take a deep breath together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Uh, Thank you so much, Dr. Brooks, for this thorough interpretation of Beyonce's Lemonade. To start the Q&A portion, I'll be reading from a question submitted by our Zoom registrants. To start, are there any young women musicians under 30 years old writing or performing songs of liberation currently? And I would like to add comparable to Beyonce's Lemonade.
Oh, I mean, that's a great question. Um, it says under 30. I don't even know. I'm like, I think we're in an interesting moment to think about people like Doechii, who's fierceness in terms of having a strong political voice and wedding that with a kind of deeply experimental and also ludic, playful energy. She's someone who I think of as absolutely thrilling. So Doechii would, definitely be at the top of my list. And I do think, we're kind of, in this interesting moment with hip hop, people like Tierra Whack out of Philadelphia, who also is doing something with playfulness, with these sly, ludic kinds of forms of, aesthetic adventure that are in themselves refusals of the constrictions that are often placed upon Black women's voices. So I think so many of them are building on Beyonce's legacy, but also charting new paths as well. It's a great question. Thank you.
And great recommendations. And the next question is from one of our in-person attendees. Um, the chapters of Lemonade, from intuition to redemption, tell a story of healing and reconciliation. As we think about reckoning with past and present harms against Black people, how do these chapters relate? Where does a chapter like forgiveness or hope fit in? What is Beyonce telling us about how we can move forward and heal through the chapter names?
Oh, that's such a lovely question. I will say that I just came out of teaching my graduate seminar on Toni Morrison a couple of hours ago, and this week we were reading one of her late wondrous books, Love, alongside of her um, soul short story, Recitative. I highly recommend both. We were reading them in relation to the mammoth Black feminist scholar Horton Spiller's work and one of her lesser known pieces that's about kind of thinking about like problems with psychoanalytic theory, i.e., that's a white theory, it's about, clinical ideas, um, derived from European scholarship in medicine and is psychoanalysis of any use to Black people. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because what Horton Spillers is really arguing for in that piece is less about claiming psychoanalysis than saying, okay, well, psychoanalytic theory is ultimately interested in, among other things, self-assessment and a way in which to articulate feeling and think about one's feeling in relationality to other folks. And this, I think you can see at the heart of Lemonade in many ways, that the chapters that you're citing are doing a kind of ethical work or inviting us to imagine what do we need to do to repair not only ourselves but our relationships with one another. How are those two things entangled with one another? What does it mean to do intimate work, right, to address trauma and harm? And how does that intimate work relate to these larger histories of injury and subjugation? How do we address both things at once? How do we reckon with the fact that, often these two things are mutually constitutive of one another? So I really appreciate this question because you're going to the heart of something that I think for initial listeners of Lemonade, it was difficult for people to kind of put these two things together. And yet it's really kind of the core thesis that history and our own intimate lives, are deeply entangled with one another. And we have to address the harm, at the largest as well as the most intimate scale. So I hope that's answering your question. It's definitely a wonderful question.
The work of a lifetime.
Yes.
Um, uh, the next question is from one of our Zoom registrants. How do you think intersectionality and or struggles with intersectionality have been expressed in this album?
Oh, and in so many ways. I mean, I do think, one of the great struggles for some folks with Beyonce's work is class politics. There is definitely an unapologetic embrace of um, capitalist um, um, acquisition as as a way to imagine liberation. And there are plenty of Black feminist Marxist critiques of um, that kind of critical angle and ethos, and rightly so. Um, but I do think that, the ways that Beyonce is interested in foregrounding Black feminist concerns about neglect and marginalization, um, gendered invisibility, are powerful statements about how to complicate the ways in which we define and perceive of Blackness and its value in American life. And in that sense, it's an intersectional gesture to be able to make these kinds of Black feminist interventions and how we think about Blackness and how it circulates in popular culture. And this other dimension of thinking about class, thinking about sexuality, they're all objects of inquiry to be reckoned with in this album. And one can take a variety of different positions on where she lands, where the album itself lands, and what we do with that knowledge production on this work. Thank you for that question.
And I guess there's actually an in-person question that ties into that, what you were saying about intersectionality, which is considering the religious critique from Christians because of some of the imagery and the themes in Lemonade. What is your take on this? How does that fit into your answer on intersectionality?
Well, thank you. There's some great work. I should highly recommend. There's an anthology, a scholarly anthology on Lemonade, featuring a multiplicity of um, contributions from Black feminist studies scholars. It's called The Lemonade Reader. Kenitra Brooks and Camila Martin are the co-editors. It's wonderful. And there are a couple of chapters on thinking about the ways that the album is engaging, making gestures towards symbolically working with ideas of Black diasporic spiritualities, Orisha being one of them, and that those kinds of invitations to imagine a spirituality that works outside of or alongside of our Protestant, Christian, African American subcultures and lines of divinity allows us to think heterogeneously again about black cultural formations. So, I think it's an album that is pushing all sorts of boundaries and, you know, constantly inviting us to question a blackness that can live outside of the frames that we've been given in the US, even as we hold on to valuing various cultural forms and rituals that have enabled us to survive. Thank you for the question.
Thank you for your answer. Um, and I'll combine I'll combine two questions, one from Zoom and one from in person. Where do we go from here? Slash, do you think we will continue to think and talk about this album in another decade or so?
Oh, I love that question. I hope so. I mean, it is an album that is fully canonized, I will say, in the Academy, and the Academy is under attack, as are many other social and cultural and intellectual sites right now. But it's an album that so many of us teach in our classrooms and teach it in relation to the history of Black Studies scholarship and Black feminist studies scholarship. It will be interesting to continue to historicize it. I mean, obviously, in my own work, I was really interested in how she was, doing work a decade later, nearly a decade later after Hurricane Katrina, more than a decade later, I should say. And and it was also a work that emerged, in the run of one of our peak moments in our 21st century Black Lives Matter movement. And so as we continue to think about what Black freedom struggle movements look like, it'll be interesting and powerful to imagine the pedagogical and historical worth of Lemonade to mark multiple moments across the 21st century, as well as that longer history that it encapsulates. So to answer the at least part of your question, I think it lives on for all of those reasons. It's a historical object, but it's an object that continues to be alive in the 21st century.
And for the last question, I'll also be combining two questions. One question is more so focused on how Lemonade relates to reparation, and the other one to non-American Black people. So I'm thinking about, in terms of the afterlives of slavery, thinking more broadly about the reparations to not just African Americans, but to Black people generally. Where do you think Lemonade sits on I guess, the pendulum of this? Or what is she commenting in terms of Black people as a whole?
Hmm. Yeah, I think that culture can, as we saw, especially in 2020 in that fleeting moment, culture has a special role to play. It always does. And we had a heightened awareness of it in 2020. Culture has a special role to play in doing not only reparative work, but in a kind of long movement towards lobbying for both maybe formal as well as informal reparations because of its ability to archive memory and to keep history alive. And so, when we use that word so frequently in 2020 as an era of reckoning, these cultural forms, and Lemonade being one of them, can pointedly be designed to hail in listeners and audiences a kind of affective relationship to the condition of reckoning. Am I willing to reckon with this history that's being presented to us through this artistic work, this art object? And so in that sense, I think it's powerful contextually to think about it in relation to reparations. What was the other piece of the question? I'm sorry.
Non-American Black people, so Black people as a
Yeah,
globally.
sure.
Thinking of the global South, if you wanted
Yeah,
to expand the
sure.
borders of
Hmm.
American South.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's why New Orleans is so important as the core site of inspiration for the album. I mean, um, she's talked through her collaborators, and we know this from her creatives who worked on Lemonade about the importance of New Orleans in relation to her own family lineage. But if we think of New Orleans alongside of, a place like Charleston, South Carolina, as, the two most impactful ports for the importation, heavy scare quotes, of enslaved peoples, people who were converted into commodities and then found miraculously and through prodigious forms of resistance a way to reject that over, the long arc of history. New Orleans is the point of entry and also the connection to that circum-Atlantic memory. So I think it's rooted in the landscape and the Black critical geographies of Lemonade. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Daphne Brooks, for your thoughtful answers and a highly informative presentation. And I want to thank you all so much for attending in person and virtually for this Talking About Race Matters lecture. If you enjoyed tonight's talk, please check out the links in the Zoom chat to learn more about our upcoming events, lectures, and exhibitions. We have an Earth Day pollinator party coming up on April 22nd and a collections-based exhibition on the Revolutionary War. That's also on view very, very soon. But thank you all again, and I hope you have a great evening, everyone. And Daphne, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.